This week on Live at 5, we're introducing you to the 3 local finalists in the annual Pillsbury Bakeoff.
It's a great American tradition for 63 years. Did you know that? In 1949, the Pillsbury Bakeoff contest began as the Grand National Recipe and Baking Contest at the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City. To celebrate Pillsbury's birthday, executives at the company created the contest and they invited homemakers to share their treasured recipes. The response was so great that Pillsbury decided to do it again the following year, and the rest, as they say, is history. Madison's Laurie Benda is hoping to make her mark in Bakeoff history. She's an English teacher at Madison College who has been to the Bakeoff once before. Laurie hopes her strawberries and cream butter cake is worth $1 million.
This recipe is strawberries and cream butter cake. I wanted to play around with the idea of a gooey butter cake, which is a St. Louis kind of classic. The story is that somebody came up with it because they switched around the ingredients, got the wrong amounts of ingredients, and came out with this really sweet, dense, gooey cake. And so when I saw condensed milk in the recipe list or in the ingredients list, I thought that that might be kind of a fun way to go with a gooey butter cake and
build on a delicious mistake.
Right, exactly.
Now, this isn't your first go at this rodeo. You've been to the Bake-Off before.
I was there once before in 2008.
With what kind of a recipe?
At that time, it was an appetizer recipe, kind of a pinwheel roll-up appetizer, and I think this one might be a winner.
Why did you decide to enter again?
Well, it's really kind of a hobby. It's a lot of fun. I mean, I like to cook and bake, but the contests are fun because they're sort of like puzzles. Like for the Pillsbury contest, they give you lists of ingredients, and you have to have at least 2 of those ingredients, and then it's sort of a puzzle to try to put those together and get more in if you can, and see if you can come up with something a little bit innovative and delicious.
Well, walk me through this delicious cake. How did you make it?
The recipe itself starts out with a bottom layer of sugar cookie dough.
Ooh, you're off
so
to a good start.
That kind of holds the whole thing together, and you press that into a baking pan, and then it's a really kind of classic cake method where beat together butter and sugar, add in eggs and vanilla, and then add a little bit of flour, a little bit of, instead of milk, sweetened condensed milk, and then a little more flour, a little more milk, sort of beating it all together.
But you're not using a cake mix. You're doing that part from scratch.
Right. So the one, so there's also Pillsbury flour, in here. So but it's just a few ingredients. It's not really that many more than using a mix.
And then you pour that on the sugar cookie base?
Pour that over the sugar cookies and then kind of dollop on the strawberry preserves, swirl it all together. Bake it until it just barely jiggles a little bit in the center when it's coming out, kind of like a cheesecake. It is a very sweet cake, but it also kind of holds it all together, ties it together, and gives textural variation too, because the batter itself is very dense, very kind of gooey, and the sugar cookie is a little crunchy.
Wow.
The basic recipe calls for cutting it into squares and serving it with whipped cream and strawberries.
Oh, that's a great idea.
I really like to cut it into very small squares. Not that you can't have more than one, of course, but then it's almost like a petit four.
Okay. That is delicious.
Thank you.
I have to confess, I'm such a sweet person.
Me too.
My sweet tooth is the size of my whole mouth. This is delicious.
Thank you so much.
It's so soft and gooey. God, I love the sugar cookie as the crust.
Oh, thank you.
Well, congratulations. Good luck. Good luck. We can't wait to hear when you win.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
And we will let you know the Bake-Off contest is Tuesday, March 27th in Orlando, Florida, and it's hosted this year by Martha Stewart. The recipe for Laurie's strawberries and cream butter cake is on our website. It's channel3000.com. Click on the red links section. We had a couple people email me saying they were having trouble finding the recipe in the red links area. And that, by the way, was not Laurie's kitchen. A lot of people said, look at that kitchen. She works, as I mentioned, at Madison College. She's an English teacher there, so we did the interview down in the culinary department.
Speaking of mistakes, I used sweetened condensed milk once to make a meatloaf instead of regular condensed milk.
That would not get you far in the Bake-Off.
I'm not going to go to Pillsbury with that one. That looks good, though. All right, we'll be right back.